Welcome, welcome. Today I want to bring Aisha Taylor in. Aisha, I met her a few months ago, and I saw her passion that she has for people, particularly women, moms, just to be good stewards over their finances. She has a personal testimony that helped her to overcome and to be better and be strong. So I thought it would be something good to have her on here just to talk about surviving COVID-19 and beyond. Um, so, um, yeah, Aisha, welcome. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hi everyone. My name is Aisha Taylor. And so, really, just first of all, thank you, Angela, for even inviting me and thinking about me to join. I'm just grateful to you for just the opportunity to come share. And so, just to give you guys a little bit about me, so I'm trying to know where to start because I don't want it to take forever. But it's like I have a long, windy journey towards first personal finances. So one of the things is that my parents actually taught me about financial literacy when I was a kid. And so for me, I understood financial literacy. I had a very good idea about what financial literacy was, but my struggle came is because I compared myself to a lot of people. I wanted to fit in.
Mm.
And so where the struggle came was I wanted to, you know how they say, keeping up with the Joneses, that was me. I got to the point where I was really defining my self-worth based upon how much money I spent, what I could afford to do. And really, I was losing myself in the process. And so for me, I went on a transformation journey just because of the fact that I got to a point where I got tired of holding my breath because I didn't know if when I handed my card over, if it was going to get denied or not.
Yeah.
And so that became a very big source of stress for me. And the other thing is that I didn't really know who I was as a person anymore. And so it just became very challenging because I was just walking around not really knowing who I was, just really just trying to fit in and living according to other people's expectations. So what happened was I just went on this personal journey for myself to just figure out who I was as a person, what it was that I really got to know myself again. And through that process, I was able to change how I manage my money. But as I was learning about how to manage money, I ended up taking a certified financial planning course. Um, I just got to a point where I just decided I wanted to share the information that I had because I didn't want other people to be able to just struggle and to not know. And so I ended up starting a blog called FNPenomenal, and eventually, it led to me writing a book. It led to me teaching workshops. And really, the crazy thing is I just wrote an email to my email list about how I know we're in the time of COVID-19. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So much stuff is getting canceled. My heart literally just sank because the summer camp that I had my kids enrolled in, I got the cancellation notice about 45 minutes before the call. So it's just
Wow.
my heart aches for the loss that my kids are having to endure. Them asking me, where are my friends? When can I see my
Yeah.
friends again? When can I see my teachers again? And those type of conversations are very difficult because it's just I'm trying to explain to 4-year-olds, what's going on, but not scare them,
Right,
but
right.
also help them through kind of the grieving process that they're naturally feeling because they made friends and then all of a sudden all that's taken away from them. And so I share that to say is that I wrote an email to my email list about how God can still birth purpose through misery. And I say
Mm.
that because when I wrote my book and during the time I was really building my business at the beginning was when I was working in corporate America dealing with workplace bullying and workplace harassment to the point where I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, just so much was on me. But God really just used that to fuel my passion and purpose and just sharpen my desire to help other people to share the knowledge that I had, the knowledge that he gifted me with. And that is kind of where that deep burning passion comes out from. It's
Yes.
just because I have so much in me. It's just I have to get it out because I just want to see other people thrive.
I love it. And you definitely, when I saw you, I knew that I wanted to work with you. And I thought you have such wisdom, even at a young age, and that you want to share. So you knew you had the passion. And you know what? We've been talking about even how the Passover, how God had back in the day, years ago, it talks about
Mhm.
community. And with that, you're trying to really inform the community about this and that people can get through this. but how do we use wisdom? So I know you said that you have some basic principles. What would you start off with first? If someone right now, they're struggling in, like you said, even with the kids, or they may have lost their job, or they, bills have changed, So what would you say? What advice would you give for someone going
So
through?
the first thing I would say is just breathe, take a deep breath. And one of the things that I struggle with is focusing on the things I can't control. And I get
Yeah.
so stressed out about the things I can't control, and it just kind of spirals into freezing and not really doing anything, or the anxiety and worry would kick in. And so if you have faith, turn to your faith, like those types of things. But then from a financial perspective, I would say get your house in order. Like figure out what it is that you owe. Like get a sheet
Yeah.
of paper, write down every single thing that comes out of your bank account each month. And sometimes that doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but write it down. How much, like what comes out, how much is
Mm-hmm.
it, and when? Because once you do that, if you've experienced a job loss or a financial setback, maybe hours are reduced, what that does is it lets you know how much, and then total it up, because that lets you know how much you have that's going to be coming out of your account very soon, or what you have to pay for. And the good thing is, the silver lining in this is that many places have programs available to help with COVID related financial assistance. And you don't have to have COVID. Like you don't have to have somebody who, you don't have to be self quarantined. Like you don't have to be caring for somebody who
Mm-hmm.
has COVID. Like none of that. It's just, you can call. Like even if you're still working, you can call and say, I want to take advantage of some of these relief programs. Because, and the reason why I say that is, you don't know what the future holds. Like I just saw an article recently that said they expect 30 million people to file for unemployment within the upcoming weeks. I think we're at about 26 million right now. And on average, it's been about 6 million a week.
Wow.
So you don't know what the future holds. And so what I've been telling people is, even if your job is secure, take advantage of some of these programs, because we don't know when they're going to be phased out either. We know that they've
Right.
been here since March. We don't know when they're going to be phased out. So let's say like you have an auto loan, call your auto loan provider and ask them if they have any programs, if there's a way to pause it. And the thing is, like you have to understand, with some of this stuff, interest is still going to accrue, which means it's going to cost you money over time. But I think right now, the biggest thing we need to be focused on is cash flow preservation, because you can't get that money back that you paid.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, let's say that you pay a payment for, something, right? You can't go back and say, oh, I just lost my job, I need that money back. And so I would say, take that list, be proactive with that list, and start to call these people to figure out what you qualify for, what programs they have. Take advantage of as many as possible. But this is the caveat: if you have the money, put that money aside in a savings account. And the reason
Mm.
why is that with some of the places, it really depends on the company. You might, if you
Yes.
waive 3 months of payments, you might end up having to pay 3 months of payments when things are due. Some places tack on the payments at the end of the contract. Some places will have you pay those payments as soon as repayment starts again. So you want to be able to have the money. And the other thing is put the money aside, because the whole purpose of this is cash flow preservation. And so it doesn't make sense if you decide to tack on 2 months of auto loan payments to the end of your contract and then go out and spend the money. Like that doesn't help anything. So
Right.
put that money aside and save it. So that way, if you experience a financial shock, you have that account there waiting for you. Because I think statistics say about 60 to 70% of Americans don't even have $500 in their bank account. So just
Wow.
imagine, like, if you took advantage of some of these programs, or you were able to lay some payments and then put that money in a bank account and shore up an emergency fund. Like the amount of peace that will give you, and the household protection that will give you, is huge.
No, those are some good tips, and I'm writing down, taking notes. So, what about people? Even I know you could start off small, because what I said, it's hard for me to save, and trying to struggle in that and to balance it when you got to worry about for food. Do you know of any other resources or any other tips that parents can take advantage of?
Yes, and then the other thing is that if you're struggling with food, search out your local food bank. Like nobody should be going hungry, and like there's a different expanded eligibility for different food programs and things like that. Check that out so that way you and your kids do not go hungry. Like make sure that you are fed. The other thing is that evaluate your spending. Like consider doing a no spend challenge, pantry
Mm.
shop, and no spend challenges means like you don't spend on anything other than like your super bare essentials, like you're paying your bills, those sort of things,
That's
but
true.
like no extra shopping. Like I know quite a number of people who, since they've been home, I guess their four walls of their house have been driving them crazy, so they decided to redecorate their home. Like don't do that. Like I
Don't
know
do
it's
that.
easy, you can declutter, get rid of stuff, but like don't redecorate your home with the cash flow that you need, right? So but the other thing is like watch your spending. Like when I say the no spend challenge, keep that money in your bank account and like challenge yourself to see how long you can go without doing basic things like filling up gas. And then pantry shop as well. So if you have a fully stocked like fridge, freezer,
Hmm.
cupboards, try not to go to the grocery store. Just get meals together. I remember one time I challenged myself to do this. I ended up discovering I like it, I think it was called like garbage pail salad or something like that.
Okay.
And so like I had spinach and then just started putting a whole bunch of stuff in it that I had at home. I wish I remember how to make it because that was the best salad I've ever had. Like literally, I still think about it, but I cannot remember
Yes.
how I made it. But so just different things like that. Like shop with the stuff that you have on hand. It's not the time to buy new kids toys. Like my kids have been rediscovering toys that have been at the bottom of the toy box and they are having a great time as if it was brand new. So during this time, just challenge yourself. Like start off with like how many days can you go without swiping your card or buying anything. See how long you can go.
I
Like
like
make it
that.
a game, right? And then the other thing is just shop at home. And so that way you can start to see exactly how much your money is spending. And that way you can only spend money on the things, the outflow, like the bare essentials. I think that'll be good. And then the other thing is, if you are going to work, if you are an essential employee, don't buy food. There are, and if you do, check to see if the places have programs or free food for healthcare workers or essential workers, because there's some of them who do. I think Chipotle, I don't know if it's over now or if it's just started, but I saw something recently about how Chipotle is giving away 100,000 free burritos to healthcare workers.
I heard
And my
that.
sister is a healthcare worker, and so she picked up food from someone else, another
Wow.
place where they were doing 50% off of meals for healthcare workers. You just had to show a badge. So if you're going to do like get food, then do something like that. But I would encourage you to cook food at home as much as possible. And the other thing is, like, think about things that stretch, like chili stretches, spaghetti stretches, fried rice and bean stretches, like fried rice stretches. Like, think about those types of things. So that way the money that you're spending can extend over a longer period of time.
No, that makes perfect sense. I really appreciate that because it just reminds you of what you should do. Just going back to the basics, and
Hmm.
so when you come out of this, being able to save money. Do you think this is a smart time to invest in anything? If someone does have money that they can invest in
Hmm.
anything?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I just wrote a blog post about that. And you know
Okay.
what? Remind me, I'm going to send you that blog post I wrote.
Oh, okay. Please do, and I'll
And
share it.
okay, perfect. And so like investing, so this is what I would say.
Mhm.
If you have job security and you have job security, then and you have a savings account, now is a great time to invest. Why? Because if you think about investing like knowledge, it says buy low, sell high. Like about a month ago, a month and a half ago, we were at a high in the stock market of about 29,000. Now it's down to about 24,000. So right now the stocks are on sale essentially because there's been so much loss in the market, which has been devastating to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who has a long-term focus, which everybody should have a long-term focus on the stock market, and if you have job security and if you have a savings account, um, like now is a good time to start investing. But I would say it with those caveats, and then start only invest what you can afford to lose. Like if you like if you if it's gonna hurt you if the stock market tank tomorrow, don't do it, right?
That
Because
makes
you like
sense.
it's so but and start small, like start small, and think about things like most people have gotten stimulus checks, or they have stimulus checks in the mail. So if you are in a financially secure position, take a small piece of that stimulus check and invest it in the market, if you can afford to. And now also with 401ks, like if you have a retirement plan with your job, like don't cut it if you don't have to. Just keep investing to make sure that you get the match. So there's lots of different things that you can do. And another tip that I have, and it's included in the article, like with cashback sites, like if you have sites like, you know, Rakuten, which used to be eBay, things like that,
Okay.
use those cashback sites, earn a little bit in cash back, and then put that in the market, because every little bit counts, especially now when things are kind of on sale.
No, that makes perfect sense. Naya or Sheila, Tashana, do you guys have any questions?
No, just been listening, taking in the information.
Okay, good. Sheila, what about you?
I'm and good evening. Thank you for taking your time to speak with us. I am interested in, I have a friend that said he drew down his retirement money and he used it to do day trading. Now, I'm not interested in doing that because you have to be very disciplined and really know what you're doing. But I'm trying to find maybe another, you mentioned about investing, but maybe some other streams of income, or even a recommendation of, if you go into the market, where would you start? And thank
So
you.
there's a number of different places that we can start. And if you want to, we can also have a conversation offline. So, Angela, like, please feel free, please pass my email address on
Yes.
to Sheila, and we can talk more about her specific circumstance. But there's a number of places where you can start. There's a site that I love. It's called Elevest. And I can send this to you because, like, full disclosure, I have a referral link. And I think that if you go through the referral link to set up it's really cool. They have a free investing portfolio analysis and everything. It's like a really cool site. And I think you get
What is it
extra
called?
Elevest.
How do you, can you spell that?
It's ELLEVEST. And that's in the article that Angela will share with you guys too. I listed
Okay.
a few different names of
Okay.
people as well. And so that's a good place to start, because what you can do is start off small, like there's no minimums, things like that. So you want to focus on places that don't have minimums. And so another good place to start if you're interested in investing is bankrate.com, BANKRATE.com, because what you can do, they have some really cool calculators there. So if you are like me, I sometimes I nerd out on some of these things. So like if you're like me, you start like playing around with different scenarios. But I think it's so powerful, because you can start to play with different scenarios about like how much income you have, how much you might be able to afford. It's amazing what $25 a month will do, and how it compounds over time, over 20 years. So don't think you have to go in there and do like $100, $200 a month. You can literally like see big results if you do something like $15, $25 just a month, just putting it aside in the investment account. So I would start off with those two places. And the other thing is figure out what you can afford. You're absolutely right. Like, please don't cash out your 401k to start day trading, because day trading is very, very, very risky. And there's a big chance you can lose it all. So first, start with what you can afford, and then go into some of these sites. Another site that's really good, it's called Betterment. You know what? I'm thinking about all these places. I'm going to send that article. Lists a lot of different places. Like they have Acorns. It has like Betterment. I don't have on there, but BETTERMINT.com. Is it MINT or BMENT? I forget which way it's spelled, but there's a lot of different resources where you don't need to like see a financial advisor. There's kind of like almost robo investing, where you're just doing it on an app. And Acorns is cool because they can round up and you keep the change, and they keep the change and invest the change for you. But yeah, definitely, I'm going to send you the article I wrote.
Okay.
And it has all of the information. It totally goes into even more detail about how to invest during COVID.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Do you guys have any other questions?
No, not right now.
Right now. Okay. So,
I have one.
okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, what's your thought about real estate at this time?
Real estate, I think, like my thought is similar to what I have for, and the way I think about investing is that if you can afford it right now, then do it. And I hate to say it, but because of the financial situation, there's going to be some pretty good buys coming up in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's sad, but it's true. And so I think now, like, if you're planning to get involved in real estate, like, make sure you can afford it. Again, because if, and you know, the reason why we met is through a lady named Kelly.
Kelly, yes, that's
And
right.
so Kelly would be a great resource for that question, because I suspect, and Kelly would know a lot more than me, that you're going to see some really good buys coming up in real estate. But I would think now focus on financially preparing yourself for real estate. So do things to boost your credit score. Start to pay down debt if you can. Build up your savings cushions, because if you're going to be buying real estate and taking on a mortgage, you have to also make sure that you're secure in your job and that you're not going to experience a job loss. Because if you can't pay the mortgage on the investment property, what's going to happen? Right. But have your emergency fund set and solid, because if a tenant all of a sudden can't afford that property anymore and they leave, you're still on the hook for the purchase. So I would say now is a very good time for financial preparation, because you'll probably start to see some good buys coming up soon, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, I don't want this recording to stop on us abruptly. I so appreciate you taking the time.
Yes,
this was very informative. And I hope to have you again, possibly in July. I was thinking, you know, so if something we could do it just a part 2. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to say? I know when you send the information I'm going to share, but is there anything last thing you want to say?
Yeah, the one thing I want to say is that I forgot to mention that I actually have a book that shares how you can do small things that add up to big dollars. I have a book called it's called 5 plus the title is long, 5 plus 5 FNPenomenal ways to save $100 this week without killing your lifestyle. And I'll get the link to buy the book is the number 5, the word plus 5 book.com. So 5 plus 5 book.com, and that'll take you to the Amazon link. And that's all about like making small changes to your lifestyle that add up to big savings. So that's what the book is about. So I would encourage you to pick it up if you're looking for different savings opportunities. And the other thing is just don't worry, don't panic. A friend of mine just told me the other day is that worry and panic and anxiety actually suppresses the immune system, when at this point in time we need to be building up our immune system. So as much as you can, focus on the things that you can control, release the things that you can't, and just do what you can and know that that's good enough.
Oh, thank you.
And my website, it's FNPenomenal.com. If you want to connect with me, my website is FNPenomenal.com. So F is in family, N is in Nancy, PHENOMENAL.com. I'm also on Instagram at FNPenomenal. And if you want to connect with me even more, I have a Facebook group on Facebook, but that's obvious. And it's called Phenomenal Moms. So Phenomenal Moms on Facebook. And I think the direct link is facebook.com/group/phenomenal mom. Somebody got the plural version of that before I did. But the group is called Phenomenal Moms, but the vanity link is Phenomenal Mom singular.
Got you. No, yes, I got you. No, thank you once again. I appreciate it. I look forward to getting the information that way I can share and then uploading this on YouTube that other people can see eventually in our group as well. So thank you once again. And I'm going to end this session. And you guys have a good one. Stay safe, healthy, and remember the principles that we were taught today. Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.